All right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody, man? Look, I got a jam-packed show for you guys. I got a really good one today, man. So today we're talking about the top 10 quarterbacks in college football. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. I know this list gonna run for some feathers. People gonna be like, nah, you don't know what the hell you talking about. This is just my personal preference of how I rank it and how I like my quarterbacks. All right. Each guy brings their own things to the table. Each guy does their own thing, but I'm gonna tell you why I believe these are the 10 best quarterbacks in college football. Stay around for number one. Okay, we're gonna go through the 10 through 6 first, and then we're gonna go through the rest. Now, an underrated quarterback to get us started on the top 10 is Bear Bachmeier. All right, this guy can ball. Now he's underrated. You can make the argument, Nas, you didn't put JKS on there. JKS had a lot of obviously interceptions. They didn't have the same season that BYU had this past year, right? I seen BYU win 11, 12 plus games this past year, and Bear Bachmeier did his thing. Yes, Nosh, he had 7 interceptions, but he threw for 3,000 yards, 15 touchdowns as a true freshman. And he's a guy I think next year is going to ascend even higher. He's going to be even better with the receivers that they brought in, right? He was top 16 in QBR last season. So this is going to be a guy that people are going to sleep on. They'll be like, Nas, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Why is he number 10? I believe in Bear Bachmeier, though. And I believe he's a guy that can play at a very, very, very high level. Okay. So, yeah, Bear Bachmeier for me is going to be my number 10. At number 9 is going to be Marcel Reed. I don't think he gets enough love. Excuse me. He's a guy that's been performing at a high level for quite some time, right? And he's coming in. He's going to have a big time upcoming junior season / senior season. He did some great things last year that I thought all the sport. Remember, he led Texas A&M to that really good start to last season, right? When we look at what they were able to do last year, I was about to say 10-0, but let me make sure I get it right. I was right. 10-0 last season, was doing big things, came back from like 25 plus down against South Carolina, wins the game, goes crazy, goes for 439 yards, one of his best performances, struggled early on with the 2 interceptions. But this is a guy in Marshall Reed that doesn't get enough love, right? 3,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 22nd in QBR, right? Now, the interceptions has to come down next year, but Texas A&M is a team I think should get back to a college football playoff next year under Mike Elko, under Marcel Reed. They still got Mario Craver, still got some good weapons in there, and they had a really good season up until the end when they lost the final 2 games. Texas A&M was a damn problem last year, and a large reason for that was Marcel Reed. So I think he's a top quarterback in the nation. He don't get the love that he deserves and the love that he needs, in my opinion, at the quarterback spot. But what he's been doing in college football deserves to be recognized. So he is my number 9 player quarterback in the country. Deserves more love. Wins on the big stage. I know they lost to my Miami Hurricanes, but they led them to 10-0, beat Auburn, beat Notre Dame in that classic that went back and forth, right? Beat a really good LSU team at the time, beat Missouri, had a whole bunch of great wins on his resume. Deserves to get more credit and respect for what he's been able to do. Next up's another underrated guy. He was a redshirt freshman last year, CJ Carr. Now, a lot of people going to talk about Darian Price. They're going to talk about Jeremiah Love, right? And rightfully so. But I feel like CJ Carr got better as the season wore on. 2,741 yards, 41 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, 83.4 QBR, which was top 6 in the nation. And like I said, he got better. Now, next year, they're still going to have great running backs, but he's going to be asked to do more. They're going to ask CJ Carr to lead them more offensively, make more of the reads, make more of the throws, right? And they had a tough start to the season, 0-2. But like I said, he got better as the season wore on. You know what I'm saying? Turned over the ball less, starting to kind of find what he needed to do, and got better. Now, a lot of people going to say it's a cupcake schedule, Naj. What are you talking about? But I think this is a guy that's poised for a big year. 200 yards passing, and they ended up winning. They rattled off 10 consecutive victories. Wasn't good enough for them to get into, obviously, the CFP playoff, but CJ Carr got better as the season wore on, and he showed strides last season as a guy that could be potentially dangerous. So for me, CJ Carr is my number 7, or excuse me, number 8, I believe, and I think he has a very, very bright future, obviously, ahead. Make sure I got my list right. Yeah, CJ Carr is my number 8. Number 7, and you can make the argument. Hold on. You can make the argument Jayden Maiava could even easily be in the top 5, right? Because the talent level of this player is so elite, it's different, right? What we got to see from Maiava is more of the big games, right? We got to see him. Now, we see him go toe to toe. Excuse me. We see him do his thing and ball out. But we need him to get some of those wins, right? Shouldn't have lost to Illinois' team. I know they had Luke Altmaier. Illinois wasn't the same team last year. Should have won that one, right? Oregon need to see a little bit more. They got up ahead in that game. It wasn't really a battle, right? Notre Dame, same kind of thing. Went toe to toe, but defense couldn't stop them. You did what you could, right? 328 yards passing, but you got to take care of the football more. He had 10 interceptions last year, but I do think talent wise, he has the capabilities to be one of those top end guys, right? They just got to win more of those games. 9-4 is not bad, but this is the year for USC. We want to see you in a college football playoff. There's no more excuses. You should be there. You should make a CFP playoff, in my humble opinion, with this guy at quarterback, with the weapons you're going to bring back, with the Corey Sims, with the running game, with the head coach Lincoln Riley, with this dynamic quarterback. I like him a lot. Got to clean up the turnovers, but when this guy's on, he is on, and he's shown that throughout his career. Second in QBR. This kid can ball nearly 4,000 yards passing, fifth in the country. He can light it up, go toe to toe with anybody. In those big games, we just want to see more. All right. We want to see more. That is my number 7. Number 6, another player doesn't get enough love for what he can do. Now, I said it before in terms of Gunnar Stockton. I said, I don't think he's a top 10 college football player. I do think he is a top 10 quarterback, though. And he's on the edge of a top 5 quarterback, in my humble opinion. I like Gunnar a lot. Gunnar does some great things. And the difference with Gunnar is last year, Georgia, the running game was okay, right? But it was not good enough to the level, to the extent of what we know Georgia to be. There were several games last season, and you guys can check the stat line. Great lower body, you know what I'm saying? Makes good reads, makes the big top throws, doesn't turn over the football a whole bunch, right? But Gunnar gunned some damn games for Georgia, right? You go look at some of these games, and he absolutely went off, right? You go look at the Tennessee game, right? That was a great test for Georgia. On the road, playing Tennessee in Neyland Stadium, and their defense couldn't stop a lick or nothing. Nothing. And he goes off for 304 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? So this is a guy that you saw light it up. You know what I'm saying? Big games, have to go toe to toe, throw the ball. Same against Ole Miss, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns, right? So, and in Texas, 4 touchdowns, 229 yards passing, 82.8 QBR, like, or 82.8 completion percentage. So you're seeing a guy in Gunner that, if you're a Georgia fan, you're excited because you know this guy can carry you when the game is on the line or when you need to win. Let's say there's a counterpart that's not working. Let's say the defense ain't working. The run game ain't working. I feel like Gunnar Stockton overcompensated a lot last year for Georgia, and he did a lot of big things for them. And you can see it with the QBR. You can see it with him taking care of the football, right? This guy's really good, and you add this young receiving core that they're going to have with a CJ Wiley, what is Jacoby White Helton? You know what I'm saying? And you look at, Thomas Blackshear, and you look at obviously Taylor, you look at all these pieces they got. I think Gunner's going to be primed for a big season again, and I could easily see him over 3,000 yards and 30 plus touchdowns for the Georgia Bulldogs this upcoming season. Kid is elite, kid is good, he can sling that football, and I think he's very underrated and should deserve more praise than what we give him in the college football world and landscape. And I think he will shock a lot of people with him being a top 10 quarterback this year. For others, for me, he's already on that list. All right, let's go to number 5. Number 5, this is another kid that has it. Got to stay healthy. A lot of expectations this year for LSU. But for Sam Leavitt, this is a guy, when healthy, he can perform and play at a high level. We seen it a few years ago with Arizona State, not this past year. They did get a big win against, obviously, Texas Tech this year. But we've seen with Sam Leavitt, this guy, when he's on, another one of those you compare to Jayden Maiava. When he's on, right? And for him, he got to take better care of his body, not put his body so much on the line, right? And conserve himself for those big time games, those title runs and things like that, right? There's a reason he's one of the top transfer portal quarterbacks, right? So the stat line not going to show like, oh, Najee only threw for 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, whatever. Who cares? But for Sam Leavitt, it's all about staying healthy. It's all about maximizing this opportunity because you can go to LSU and you can potentially have a great 1 year season. And then before you know it, oh, Sam Leavitt is a top draft pick. Sam Leavitt is going in the first round. Easily can do that. We've seen Lane Kiffin done it before. We've seen LSU done it before with Joe Burrow, right? So everything's out in front of you. You're gonna have a good, wide receiver group. You're gonna have a good running game, and Caden Durham and all them boys, Harlem Berry. You're gonna have a good run game. You're gonna be straight. Now it is about for you, Sam Leavitt, to perform and to stay healthy. But I think at his peak, he wins those big games. He got Arizona State to a quarterfinal, had Texas on the ropes a few years ago, right? Beat Texas Tech this past year. He relishes in the moment. So I believe Sam Leavitt is a top 5 quarterback. I think he's going to have a big time season for LSU. Deserves more of our love and our praise as well. So that's my number 5. All right, my number 5. So now we're going to go number 4 through number 1. Y'all not going to agree with it because it don't go to the standard on 3 rankings. It don't go CBS Sports rankings. This is my own rankings. So 4 through 1. Call it what you will. This is how I rank the list. Okay. Started with number 4. Okay. I like this guy a lot. And he quietly didn't have as bad of a season as people think. He didn't start off right. Arch did not start off right. But Arch got better as the year went on. And he deserves, I think, to be in that top 4, top 5 bracket with quarterbacks. Number 1, hell no. But he has everything he needs. There's no excuses anymore for Arch. You got to go ball. Right? When you see Ohio State, you got to go ball. There's no more seeing ghosts or I don't know what to do. I'm just starting. You've seen everything. Like you said, in the media press clippings, when we see you on the sideline. I just got to not care no more. That's it. Don't give a damn. But we know you can play. We know you're one of those ones. And so I feel like it's overblown. But I think Arch is one of those guys. 3,163 yards, 26 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. Okay QBR, right? But now you have the weapons. Last year you had guys like Livingstone, who's now at Oklahoma, you know what I'm saying? And you had Ryan Winkle, of course, who had his up and downs last year. Okay, tight ends. You didn't have the weapons that you're going to have this year, right? Which is why Ryan Winkle, who should be better. Cam Coleman, Hollywood Smothers, Malik Brown at the backfield. You have a lot of weapons now if you're Arch Manning. So there's no excuse, right? And he can easily be number 1 on this list, right? But we gotta go see you prove it. We gotta go see you do it. We gotta go see you ball, right? And for me, with Arch, it's not caring what people say. Yes, the target's gonna be on your back. Yes, there's gonna be championship expectations. But how do you handle that if you're Arch Manning? How do you handle championship expectations? Do you live up to the moment or do you shrivel in those moments? That's what we gotta find out. There's going to be a lot of big games this year. Georgia, I think, is still on the schedule. You got Ohio State. SEC schedule. Texas A&M. You got a lot of big games this year. Now we're going to see if Arch can improve, take a step forward. But I think at his core, I believe he's a top 4 quarterback in the nation. When he can put everything together, do what he's supposed to do, top 4 quarterback. I'll level with Arch, die by Arch. I think he can do that. Number 3, and this one will ruffle some feathers. He's not my number 1 quarterback. Sorry. It's not. After what I've seen against Indiana, and I will pull up the stat line. Great year, obviously, of course. 3,565 yards passing, 30 touchdowns. But there is a reason. There's a reason he returned back to college. He wasn't ready for the pros yet. Let's be real. Now, he said it was about his teammates winning the title, so forth and so on, right? He has great size, 6'3", 200. Had a good year, you know what I'm saying? But the Indiana game left me some glaring concerns, right? Was missing a lot of throws, 61% completion percentage, had an interception, didn't end the season well. In his last 3 games, he had 4 interceptions. 4. So, needing to clean that up. Played Indiana earlier in the year and had 2 interceptions, right? So, we're playing a different Indiana team this year, but he struggled. right? He struggled, and we need to see you be better in those big games. We need to see more out of you. And they was run out of the building in that semifinal game. They was. And they struggled. They couldn't move the ball. Right? So I like Dante Moore. Think he's a good quarterback. I got to see more. Dante Moore needs to see more. Right? Top 3 quarterback in the nation. I'm not going to deny that. For me, he doesn't get my number 1 spot. No. I want to see you turn it up when it matters. I want to see you get your team over the hump. Oregon's been knocking on that doorstep for a damn long time. It's time to start seeing the results. It's time to start seeing the difference. We ain't seen that just yet. So I like Dante Moore. Good quarterback. Some believe he might be the number 1 overall pick. I don't think so. Let's see what you do this upcoming year. Still a process. Still got to see what's going to happen next. I like him. He's top 3 quarterback. He is not my number 1. He's not my number 1. Number 2. Like this guy a lot. Almost made him my number 1. But I'm going to show you guys that I'm not biased. Right? Playing for my Miami Hurricanes now. I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. Kicking ball. Damn near 4,000 yards passing. He was number 2 in touchdown passes. And he was number 2 in passing yards. That is damn good. This kid is a baller. Right? Won an ACC championship with 5 losses. Right? Went in there and beat Virginia. Right? Dude is special. And Duke ain't even had the weapons close to the weapons that Miami got. Oh my Lord. Can you imagine him in this offense? What he's going to bring to the table? With those 34 touchdowns? Come on, bro. We can go back to the Virginia game, right? Not too crazy. 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, about passing, 76% completion percentage. Did what he needed to do. ASU, 327 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, right? And mind you, he basically threw a touchdown in every game this year, which he did, and basically 2 or more touchdowns in damn near every game as well. So without the weapons that you would have with a usually dominant top team, right? He had Cooper Barkey, who went off, who comes over now with Miami, but now you got Malik Toney, you got a Mark Fletcher, Gerard Pringle. You know what I'm saying? Like, weapons are galore at Miami. So for me, I feel like Darian Mensah is only going to ball even more. And like I said, you can make the argument he'd be number 1. I think he's better than Dante Moore. I would take him all day over Dante Moore. I think he has more upside as well. Kid's a baller. And I think this kid right here, I think he could easily be a top number 1 overall draft pick. He's that special. Kid is dynamite. He's my number 2 quarterback. Almost was my damn number 1, but I ain't biased. My number 1 to end off the show today is this guy right here. Oh my goodness gracious. Lord. This boy right here. He cooked with the fish grease. Special. Ooh, he's special. Just different. Improviser. Dynamite. Run it. Throw it. Can do everything, bro. Nearly 4,000 yards passing last year. 22 touchdowns. And remember, he had to earn the starting role. He didn't get that starting role to start the season, y'all. It was Austin Simmons. Austin Simmons' injury put Trinidad in. Remember, I called him QB1 for a reason. And Lane Kiffin put that boy in that game. And next thing you know, I know they lost to Georgia. Next thing you know, the whole trajectory of Ole Miss changed. Right? They went from struggling in some games and I don't know how good they're going to be to winning 10 games and making the college football playoff. And then when Lane Kiffin left, Pete Golden stepped in. Trinidad Chambliss was still the QB1. And them boys went all the way to the semifinals. Made me a little nervous in the semifinal game with my Miami Hurricanes. I ain't going to lie to you. I was nervous as hell. But we emerged victorious. But this boy right here, special. He stayed healthy with the receiving core they got. I know they're going to have some new pieces at the helm. I fully expect this kid to ball. You know what I'm saying? 5th in QBR, 86.5. And he's made for the big stage. Like, the game I was like, what he did against Georgia, I thought Georgia was going to win. He lit their ass up. lit him up. 362 yards and 2 touchdowns. They didn't have an answer. On the ground, through the air. I mean, every time Georgia would score, this dude was throwing haymakers down the field. Haymakers. So, yeah, till proven wrong, like, he my number one. You know what I'm saying? Number two, obviously Darian Mensah, but now my number one is Trinidad Chambliss. Different breed. You show me a quarterback in college football, you're gonna take over him. I'm all ears, cause ain't no quarterback I'm taking over this dude right here. He's made for the spotlight. He's made for the big moments, and he balls. Enough said. Enough said for me. That's my number one. You know what I'm saying? And he should be number one on pretty much everybody's list. And if he ain't your number one, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Because that's the best quarterback in football. But y'all let me know in the comments, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Hype up the video. And let me know who you got as your top 10 quarterbacks. This going to be dropping tomorrow. Noon. We dropping this tomorrow at noon. So stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe. And let me know more videos y'all boys want to see. Catch y'all in the next one. Appreciate you tuning in. Till next time. Peace.